The support class is often a underused and underappreciated class. This is arguably because it doesn't have to do a lot with firepower of what it itself can do. It gives the means for extra firepower, but doesn't really dish it out itself. The class itself is a very balanced class in terms of offense and defense capabilities, but when used correctly with the tools at your disposal, the support class can be very helpful for your whole team and your squad. It has multiple uses, and the support class can help tip the balance in your favor. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how to play support right. To start off, I want to talk about the different classes and what you get with them. So for the starting class, the standard issue, you get a M1 Garand if you're the Americans, and for the rest of the countries, you get a bolt-action rifle. You do get frag grenades with all the classes, and a supply crate with 50 supplies in them. Note that every class does have a hammer, knife, and bandages, so I won't be repeating this every single time. The next class you get at level 3 is the ammo carrier. For the US and Germans, you get a submachine gun, in particular the Grease Gun MP40. For the UK, you get a Lindy Enfield No. 5 carbine, and for the Soviets, you get an SVT-40. All these classes have a small ammo crate, explosive ammo crate, and supply crate, which we'll dive into later. The last class you can unlock is the Flamer or Flamethrower classes. For the US, UK, and Germany, you unlock a Flamethrower at level 8. You come with a pistol, smoke grenades, and a supply crate. For the USSR, you get the Mosin Nagant Nagant revolver and Molotov cocktails at level 6. So those are those classes overall, where and when you can get them. The biggest thing you need to take into account when you're playing support is your supply box. So support has a supply box that you can drop that has 50 supplies, which means you can get blue zone garrisons, arguably the most important thing you can do with your supply box. All you need is be a support player and have an officer nearby. Typically, probably the one in your squad, but any officer can do. Now, using the support boxes have two major upsides: convenience and detectability. Convenience because then you don't need a commander to do anything for you. All you need is a support player, whether it's in your squad or another squad, to drop you supplies to get stuff done. And detectability, because if you do have a commander that is dropping supplies somewhere, it kind of gives a beacon of where you're at if the enemy's paying attention. Or if you're going to use a supply truck, you don't need a commander to drop that in, especially if you have an unresponsive commander or no commander at all. So, two major upsides right there of why a support player is a great thing to have. Now, these supplies can obviously be used for more than just building garrisons. You can use them to help build defenses, as you see on screen now. And having a hammer, you can help build. So once you drop your supplies, you can get right to building or upgrading a structure. This is really nice, and engineers will probably be a little appreciative that you're helping them out in two ways: supply game and just helping them build faster, because fortifications do take time to build. Another thing you can build with your 50 supplies without any assistance are AT guns. Now, although not as effective as they were in previous patches, AT guns are still nice things to have in a pinch, and on certain maps they are very good, especially on Kursk and Remagen if used correctly. And having these AT guns can be nice, especially if your team does not have any armor or, again, no commander to help you. It's a way you can at least provide some better fire support against tanks while not having to get up close to them with a rocket or a satchel charge. So it's another weapon in your arsenal you could break out, or another play in your playbook, depending on how you wish to see it. Now, once you get to level 3, you can use the ammo carrier class. And what this allows you to do is to carry a small ammo box or small arms munitions box and an explosive ammo box. Now, what do these do? These allow for players to refill at the respective ammo boxes. Each one typically has 5 refills. And what these do are, if someone has used even a little bit of their ammunition, they can refill at them. Typically with the small munitions box or ammo box, you will find that machine gunners will typically be near these, so they can refill their ammo after burning through all their ammo. But the explosive ammo box has a lot more versatility, arguably. Anyone who has burned through their grenades, rockets, satchels, flares can refill at these. Now, the only caveat with both these boxes are that you can only refill at them once per life. So if you've already gone through your rockets and you've refilled them, you will have to go to another box or respawn to use that same box that you refilled already once at. So that way someone else can get a turn and you're not just hogging one box. Now, the one big downside with the support boxes, whether that's the munitions boxes or the supply box, is that it takes 5 minutes to replenish. That's a long time, but we can cut that in half. So, we have to go to 2 separate nodes depending on what we wish to refill. For the supply boxes, we gotta go to a manpower node, and for the ammo boxes, we gotta go to a munitions node. And what this does, once we're within 50 meters or so, or within the circle of the node that you can find on a map, it should cut the time in half. So instead of 5 minutes, it's 2.5. So as you notice on the right side there, the supply box is not really filled in, but as soon as I get close enough, it's back up to half, a little over half, since there's already some progress. So it's a nice faster way to get your supply box back without having to wait 5 minutes and be kind of ineffective between that time. Same principle applies to the ammo boxes, but you have to go to a munitions node, same rules apply, but once you get within 50 meters, you can resupply those, at least cut the time in half. Now, the only thing I'll say with these is that you can't go to 2 nodes and replenish it at once. Once you've been to 1 node, it's only that half. You can't go to another one and get it completely taken off. So just figure I'd throw that out there. On top of what you already can do as a support class with the supply crates is you can also see the recon reports or the recon planes that the commander comes in. Support is the only infantry class that isn't the officer that can see the recon reports. The only other classes that can see the recon reports are armor crews, recon, and the commander. So this is a nice little bonus you can throw on top of being support and relay that to your teammates. The last class we're going to talk about now is the flamethrower class. This is more for short range or clearing an area type deal. The flamer or flamethrower class, you get these at level 6, level 8. For the Soviets, it's level 6 because instead of a flamethrower, you get Molotov cocktails, which are nice little incendiary grenades, basically. And then at level 8, you get the flamethrowers themselves for the Germans, Americans, and the British. But overall, these weapons aren't, I would say, the best weapons in the game. They're nice for certain environments like cities and close quarters environments, but if you're having anything more than a 50-meter engagement or more, you're not going to get far. You may have a pistol, but it's not going to do you well. So these classes are nice. You still get the supply box with them, so it's at least a nice little thing you get with them. But it's advised to probably do the ammo carrier class as you get the most upside, or at least the most perks for running that class compared to the flamethrower class or the regular standard issue class.
Laden with lads.
So I've already mentioned things that you can build like garrisons, AT guns, structures. I kind of wanted to expand a little bit upon that and get a little bit more of a point across. So in particular, red zone garrisons. You can get them using support. You don't need to ask command always for supplies if you get a good coordinated team. Now, what this entails is if you're running support, you drop your supply box and then you redeploy as another class. This is where someone else takes over as support, spawns with your officer, and drops their supply box. With both your supply box and another squad mate's supply box, you make up 100 supplies, which is what's needed for a red zone garrison. With that, you can get a really stealthy garrison behind the enemy lines without requiring the commander to drop you a very noticeable airdrop of supplies or a very noisy and kind of noticeable supply truck. Another big thing you could use your support box for is helping your engineer build nodes. That way you get some XP, your engineer gets some XP, and the commander, if you have one, gets some resources in the bank. Now, it's just another thing you can do to help the team as a whole, because if the commander can at least throw more things into the fray, such as bombing runs and get you more supplies, especially at least if they're a competent commander, it's better for the team as a whole. And on top of that, you do get some nice build XP with it. So there is a little bit of an incentive to get the nodes up, or at least help get your nodes up. Now, by doing this method, this is probably more of a last-ditch effort, as even with the manpower node helping you out, getting your supply box faster, it's still going to take 7.5 to 8 minutes to get all the supplies you need to build said nodes. So, although you do have this option, it's probably a desperation option, so use it as you need it. The support class may not be the sexiest pick to take as a class, but it's a very needed class, and it's a very good class at its full potential. It can do a lot on offense, and it can do a lot on defense if used properly. And as long as you're helping out the team, giving them the ammo they need, giving them the supplies they need, and just coordinating with your team and your squad as a whole, you can get a lot done. And you can add a lot of value to your team and tip the balance in your favor by playing support right. I hope you enjoyed this video, hope you learned a couple things, and I'll see you in the next video.